Okay, this is number 7 from the chapter review. This is another tree diagram problem. It doesn't ask you to draw a tree diagram, but I would honestly draw them here to help organize all of the different probabilities and information. This one specifically is not a without replacement tree diagram, but it is one that has a couple of different scenarios going on. So the probabilities are going to be different on each of your branches. So let's start with the first sentence. Jack does 3/5 of the job around the house and Jill does the rest. So starting off, we have Jack and Jill. So this is going to be Jack. This will be Jill. So automatically, Jack does 3/5, and that would leave the rest of it for Jill. She does 2/5. Remember, those need to add up to 1 in that column. So then it goes on by saying Jack finishes 35% of his jobs properly. So in his area, we have properly and not, right? So properly, he has a 35%. And we can represent that as a decimal pretty easily. So the chances of him not doing it properly are 65% or 0.65. Different than the first scenario, right? We have 3/5, we have 2/5. We will not be using those fractions again because we were talking about something entirely different, right? We're talking about who's doing the chore and if they are doing it right or wrong. So we wouldn't be still using the same 3/5 and 2/5. We have new information for that. So now we have Jill. Jill finishes her jobs properly with 55%, and not properly would be 45. Okay, so now that our tree is done, we can go by and answer the 2 questions. Okay, so we want to know if a job is done properly. Doesn't matter who does it. I just have to make sure I find all the ones that are properly done. Well, that would be here if Jack does it properly or if Jill does it properly. So those are our 2 properly branches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the product rule and multiply our 3/5 times 0.35 for Jack. And then for Jill, it would be 2/5 with the 55.55. So for Jack, we have 0.21. For Jill, we have 0.22. Add them together, we have 0.43. So that is a properly done job. Would be 43% or 0.43. So now we're going to answer the next one. If it was done by Jill, what is the probability that it was not done properly? So there's only one scenario. I have to pick Jill and then the not properly pathway. So Jill's is 2 out of 5, and the not properly would be 0.45. Remember that this is the product rule that we're using here. And this one only has one scenario, so it is 0.18 that Jill does not do her chores properly.